Yeah, hi there, and these comments are for LC, and I am Michael Buckoff, the founder, owner, and the materials writer for all of your lessons, and I'm going to listen to your integrated speaking practice test. I think it's number 2 for my TOEFL Level 6 class, and anyway, let's take a look at what you said.
In the reading passage, it is said that
Instead of in the reading passage, it is said, that's a little bit awkward. You can just say the reading passage claims or the reading passage discusses. So try to be a little more concise in how you present your information.
the technology of nuclear energy is sharing around the world.
Now we know that we're sharing energy, but what is the purpose? What's the main idea of the reading passage? You want to say something like, the reading passage discusses the risks of nuclear energy. And then the lecture gives an example of one of those risks.
The International Energy Agency wants to protect nuclear weapons, but it is not easy.
Wants to protect nuclear weapons? I don't think that's exactly right. They want to protect countries from the proliferation of nuclear weapons. That would be how I would frame that. They're not just protecting weapons, they're trying to protect countries from nuclear weapons. And particularly, they're trying to monitor what countries do with the rich uranium that they have.
Because it cannot detect all of the nuclear materials. In the listening passage,
Now here's my next point. Now what I would do is, in the beginning, discuss the purpose of the reading and the lecture before you get to the reading passage. That way you frame your response. So we know in the beginning you're going to be talking about 2 different sources. For example, you might say in the beginning, the reading passage discusses the risks of nuclear energy, and the lecture gives an example of one of those risks. That's what you do in the beginning. Then you move to the reading, then you move to the lecture.
all of the nuclear materials. In the listening passage, there is an example.
I would just say the listening passage exemplifies or gives an example of the risks.
In 1986,
So it gives an example. Why does it give the example of Chernobyl? Why is it doing that? It's doing that to help support the information in the reading that says there are dangers with nuclear energy. First of all, according to the reading, what countries do with the rich uranium that they have is a risk. Because some countries use enriched uranium to make weapons, other countries are using it for nuclear energy. That's a risk that's mentioned in the reading, right? Of course, the lecture is giving an example of what can happen when nuclear energy is misused. And it caused an explosion, of course, in Russia.
in Chernobyl, there is an accident because the nuclear plant is explosion. It is the worst nuclear accident ever. There are 30 people dead in this accident.
That's right.
And the radiation of this explosion make people cancer.
You can't say make people cancer. You can say the radiation, which spread out into the area of Russia, caused people to have cancer. That would be how I would frame that.
And there are 1,000 people died in this cancer.
Okay, so let's take a look at the rubrics here. So I think from a delivery standpoint, from a pronunciation standpoint, you want to continue to work on varying your tone. So go to my lessons in the pronunciation area that focus around intonation and learn the rules of intonation. That's one thing you want to do. Language use. You did have some problems. You had a few problems throughout your speech with your grammar, choosing either the appropriate, the most concise grammar, expressing things. So you're a little bit limited in your grammar. You're not sure sometimes how to phrase things grammatically. So you want to go to the grammar part of my course. Keep studying in those grammar lessons, especially LC. You took a diagnostic pretest. You already know which areas in the grammar course, in the grammar section, you should focus on. make sure you keep working in those areas because you still have some grammar limitations. Topic development, you didn't exactly state the purpose, I think, of the reading and the lecture. So to help you a little bit more in that area, go to my reading lesson number 1, my listening lesson number 1. It talks about note-taking and how you can get the main points of either reading or listening passages. So I think that would also be important for you as well. Okay, so here I'm going to put you at about 2.0 out of 4 or 15 points out of 30 on this particular practice test. Now let's take a look at the rubrics and the syllabus. So 2.0, this is going to put you, for our class, a score of 70% on this assignment. Alright, anyway, thank you very much for completing the integrated speaking practice test. I would suggest review some of these lessons that I suggested before you submit your next speaking practice test. Remember, you have to solve some pronunciation, some grammar, and also some topic development issues if you want to score higher. All right, thank you.